Welcome everyone to another fabulous webinar courtesy of the Mississippi Library Commission. I'm Kristen Hillman, a library consultant here for the commission. And today we are going to be talking about the digital divide and what that means for your library. Also, digital literacy skills for everyone. And we'll talk about different literacy skills for everyone, dependent on technology, dependent on what you're using and what you want your patrons to know that you have. Do you have all these awesome databases and you want to know how you can get the public to be more aware of them? Well, we're going to talk about that today because chances are you might be already doing digital literacy at your library and you didn't even know it yet. So let's get started. First, I want to introduce myself. I'm Kristen. I was a former high school teacher, and when you're teaching high school, you want your students to have access to technology because technology is what they're going to be using at work, school, life for, at least the foreseeable future, at least for forever, because if technology goes away, I think we're in trouble. So, high school English did teach me how to make sure that all my students had equal access to technology in the best way that I could. So, and I've been in public libraries for 4 years. I'm an animal obsessed. I always have to show the babies. This is Jinx, my cat. We have Mikey and Foxy Brown too there. I love to garden, kayak, travel, read, all the normal stuff. So the mission for today, I want to make more Mississippians aware of the great digital resources available to them at their library, as well as making those resources more equitable. And we'll talk about that later. So let's go. And I want to let you know what to expect. So first, we'll define what digital literacy even is. Like, we know literacy is how to read and how to understand what you read. So digital literacy is similar to that, but using the different skills we use to use technology. That sounds like a mouthful, but why is it an important part of library service? We'll talk about that. Digital doesn't always mean equitable. We think when we put something on the digital platform, these wonderful digital resources we have, the World Book Online, databases, or things that help learning more accessible to all students. We think that does mean equitable, but sometimes getting these resources to people who need them most takes a little bit more creativity. So how can we fix this? We'll also talk about early digital literacy and what that means. Does that mean computers for babies? It could, but no, we will talk about some programs that are great for early digital literacy, getting support for digital literacy from your community, outside of your community, different resources that are available to you that can be helpful, different partnerships, easy programs for promoting digital literacy, no matter what your experience with technology is. We'll talk about easy ideas for promoting digital literacy that you could start in your library right now, but we'll also talk about things that may require a little bit more skill. So if you've already been using digital literacy strategies, you may be ready for something a little bit more ambitious. And I'll also provide resources and tools for you that you could just start using right off the bat. That'll give you a great jumping off point. So let's talk about digital literacy and what does that exactly mean? When we think about literacy, we think about reading, but when we put the word digital on it, all that means is that that's the ability to use information and communication technologies to do all of these things, to find, evaluate, create, and communicate information requiring both your cognitive and your technical skills. And that definition is from the ALA. So when you think of cognitive and technical skills, you're thinking of two different skills that every person uses to read, to learn, and to learn a new skill. Technical skills are more of those like, I can use PowerPoint, I can use Microsoft Word, whereas cognitive skills are based on your learning, based on sometimes your upbringing and sometimes the environment that you grew up in and your access to technology in that environment. Let's talk about cognitive skills and technical skills and what that even means. Cognitive skills are the core skills your brain's going to use to think, read, learn, remember, pay attention, all those great things you used to do in school and that your patrons used to do in school and that your young patrons are still doing in school. Those are those cognitive skills in your brain that all work together. And if one of these skills is weak, then understanding information is going to be impacted in some way. That means that if you can think and learn and read great, but you may have issues or one of your patrons may have difficulties paying attention or maintaining attention, then learning is going to be impacted. And that's learning those digital skills that they need to succeed in the world. And that's where libraries can come in. So cognitive skills, they definitely consist of both learned skills and inherited traits. I love this visual right here that kind of lists these cognitive skills that are just inherent in our brain, such as memory. You know, some days I don't have as great of a memory as other days, so those can be affected. Definitely your memory can be affected. Attention as well, your ability to focus, your processing rate, or the rate at which you retain information, you know, sometimes that can be affected. That can be affected on a day-to-day basis, or some of your patrons may have difficulties with that due to a disability or disorder. Also sequencing, your ability to read numbers and letters. So all these things are super important when it comes to digital literacy, I promise. Then we got technical skills, and what does that mean? And technical, you think of tech, well, that's the ability and the practical knowledge needed to perform specific tasks. So in order to access your email, there's a whole list of technical skills that you're going to learn how to do. You need to know how to turn on a computer. You need to know how to access the internet with that computer. You need to know typing skills to be able to put in a web address for your email. So even for something as simple as that, there are processes that some of our patrons may not know or may not be aware of. It seems crazy in the technology era that would happen, but especially in Mississippi, we know that is very true. So examples of your technical skills are going to be software proficiency. That's if you're unlike me and you're really good at Excel, that's what that's going to be. Microsoft Word, programming languages, technical skills. If you're experienced in like HTML or Java, definitely learning those programming languages is something that libraries can offer, such as coding camps. I've seen those before for kids. Ability to operate devices and tools. So that's the actual ability to turn on a computer and actually use it. Access your smartphone, access a tablet. And as we know, like whenever my grandmother, she's 96, but when she was 90, we got her a iPad or something like it. And she needed all of us grandkids, great grandkids to help her figure that out. And so that's just something that's it's a technical skill. That's something you learn. So here's the problem. We've talked about cognitive and technical skills, but here's the main issue, and this is the issue that libraries can definitely play a role in helping alleviate. Cognitive skills can be affected by disabilities, disorders, just general day-to-day difficulties that people may have with learning and taking in new information, especially related to technology. So not only are you trying to serve all your patrons despite disability, you never know what disability a patron may be experiencing, because some disabilities, cognitive ones especially, are mostly hidden. You can't see them from the outside. So there's one issue. And technical skills, most oftentimes, you know, some people are just general computer wizards and can know all of this right off the bat, but most oftentimes technical skills have to be learned. You have to be instructed in them, or you have to watch a video and watch somebody else do it if you're a visual learner like me. Many patrons have not had access to the same educational opportunities needed to learn certain technical skills. Also our elderly patrons who have not grown up with this technology forever and they're just learning new things. These are technical skills that they're looking to learn too. So these problems here, they do lead to inequalities in digital access, and that's something that libraries can definitely help. Like I said, libraries are part of the solution to the digital gap, to making it come together and close. So I want to talk a little bit about what your library is doing right now. There's probably a few things you're already doing to promote digital literacy, such as have you ever instructed a patron or led a discussion on fake news versus real news? That's definitely a huge part of digital literacy, is making sure that your sources you're looking at and you're getting your information from are reputable, are reliable, and are coming from a place of truth. Online safety, do you ever have posters or visuals helping patrons understand online safety and being good judges of in their online environment, especially for children, teens? This is always very popular. Consequences of oversharing online. Have you posted visuals or led a program about that, about social media etiquette? That's something that a lot of libraries are doing to promote digital literacy. So it could either be something you're already doing, or it can be ideas for later that are just something super simple to get your staff, who to get everybody interested in digital literacy. So that's all great. But what else can we do? There's early digital literacy, which is starting young with kids in understanding that technology is going to be there. It's going to be how they get a lot of their information, because as we all know, kids get older. So it's just building those skills from a foundation, almost akin to those reading skills they develop um, in early literacy programs. Programming for all ages, adults and seniors too need this. Not only are young adults trying to be competitive in the job market by learning new technical skills, seniors are also wanting to learn new technical skills. They're learning different things every day, new things on their smartphones, new apps that their devices could have that could help them, just with any problems that they may have. So I definitely want some programming too. Realizing that the library is a place to learn all types of literacy skills, not just reading literacy or reading comprehension. Digital literacy is a part of the world, and I think libraries are changing from being a place of just books. The books are super important. I love the books, but it's really becoming a place of technology and learning how to use technology to get good information, to get information that's in the truth. And that's really should be a huge mission of the public library. And see, create a diverse digital library. Most definitely, we'll talk more about that. And see both what your patrons want and what your community needs. What type of digital tools does your community want? What things do your parents need, or things like that? You can always get that data through surveys. So before I go into programming ideas, I just want to quell some fears about technology, because keep in mind, it's okay if you're not 100% comfortable with technology either. Like, your patrons who come in and want assistance with technology are either going to be great with technology, okay at technology, or maybe they won't have any technological skills at all and you have to start from the ground up. That is okay. It is okay if you don't feel 100% confident, as long as you get the help that you need in order to assist them. So learn along with your patrons and feel free to experiment, feel free to fail at some of these, and then go back to the drawing board and reassess, because that's probably what a lot of starting digital literacy programs is going to be. A lot of experimentation and playing around. That's how I learn. So I know some people are concerned how early is too early for early digital lit. But we have to keep in mind that children as young as 5 and 4 who are going into pre-K and kindergarten programs, they're going to look to the internet as a major source of information throughout their lives. Let's face it, let's go ahead and get it out there. So we want to start working on enhancing their cognitive and technical skills early. Not too much screen time is never a good thing, but we want to use our screen time really effectively with this group of kids. We're reading to and with children, things you're already doing, story time programs, hands-on play help develop those good cognitive skills in kids that allow them to be able to learn, pay attention, interpret information. That's how kids learn. So what you're already doing with story time programs is working. These programs, they also influence, like I said, social skills, being able to talk to one another, interpersonal communication. It's going to help their reasoning and judgment and problem solving. Play is the work of children, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're working to develop those cognitive skills while they play. Supervised play is great. Free play is great. Just whatever can work for your programs. And children with and without disabilities. So we have to think about all children. We have to think of all children despite disability. They greatly benefit from early digital literacy programs and tools because with disabilities comes adaptive technology that can really help kids become self-advocates for themselves. They can advocate for not just technology, but for adaptive technology that is going to help them get success. Create a digital library for children that celebrates diversity. If you do have ebooks or Hoopla, anything like that, access cloud library, access to ebooks, it's really important to make sure that you're providing diversity in that collection too. Do you have items in that online collection that have children with disabilities, that feature characters that come from different walks of life? So areas in the library too for children to access technology. I've been going around and seeing children's computers and different learning areas and learning stations, some with tablets. I think that is great. But like with access to technology and kids, some do want to be really careful, and it's really up to you and your library, your library board, of course, your director, and your staff, which your director is going to communicate that. But it's really important to figure out how much technology you want in your library based on your patrons' needs and based on what your kids are needing, especially. Do you want a computer that accesses the internet because they are going to need to look up information for projects? Maybe you want to provide that access to your World Book Online or your online encyclopedias as the home page to those computers. Or maybe you just want learning games on those computers. But however it's decided, I think having an area for children to access technology is always a great idea. It's always something that we can invest in. Here's more ideas for early digital literacy. This is going more into specific programs based on age group. So birth to 3 years old, as we know, children are putting things in their mouths and hands and kisses, and they're beginning to explore their world and they're beginning to get touchy. So make it a game. Have different digital pieces of technology around the room. Like, I spy a computer, have them find the computer. Or it could be even simpler than that. Games of I Spy really build those cognitive skills. We're really trying to build more cognitive skills in this age group rather than the technical skills. We'll get technical skills later. This is fun stuff. Puppets also help build cognitive skills. It helps them understand story, understand judgment, and also helps our cognitive ability to learn and understand problem solving. So Another great way is to listen to audiobooks or digital stories at storytime programs for your birth to 3-year-olds, and have a correlating storyboard. This could be a felt board, it could be a cookie sheet with magnetic pieces on there that go along with the stories or have characters from the story, but you're listening to an audiobook. Maybe you're listening to like a different version of a fairy tale or different version of a story everybody knows, and you have a storyboard to go along with that. I think that's a great idea. Um, and just having that digital audio and pictures to supplement is also really cool. Having like a screen where you can show different pictures to supplement what you're reading. You have like a PowerPoint presentation with pictures, and you have the clicker that you can go through those pictures, and it's either funny or silly or spooky. Not scary. We don't want to scare the little kids, but just like, somewhat spooky, creepy, kooky things that you can correlate with what you're reading. Um, some ideas for 3 to 5-year-olds. This is when we're still building cognitive skills, but we do want to focus on them learning how to do certain tasks, technical skills. Children are making connections with the world around them now. They're outside of exploring their own world. They still are. I think we all are, but now they're exploring the world around them. I love this idea. This, when you click it, leads to an app, and we will get the PDF slide deck for y'all. But whenever you click this, it's going to go to a list of no pressure reading apps for children and caregivers. I like having these just to give parents an idea of some good reading apps. Like, these are from Scholastic, but there's like Hooked on Phonics app helps with phonics and understanding, reading and how language sounds. I mean, I think having a list of resources like that for your parents is always good. Oh, let me get back. On computers, devices for children's use, the kids are still learning the parts of the computer. Label the parts of the computer, label the monitor or screen, label the mouse, label the keyboard, so they can know what the parts of those devices are called. I mean, it seems really simple, but sometimes simple things just really work. And for this area, having a children's computer area, again, you may want to limit computer access to educational games, reading apps like ABC Mouse. You may want to have access to the internet, but it's based around your library system's internet policy and access policy. And so those are just some ideas in order to get you started for early lit. Really still moving away from early digital literacy. This is more for like childhood digital literacy, school age. There's so many cool things you can do with this age group because they're all about learning new skills, but like learning them in a fun way. So they don't want to just be like told what to do. So they're kind of being rebellious, and that's cool. Host a typing challenge. Sit them all down at the computer area. You can give your kids on a screen, or you can just pull them out of a hat, old school on paper. Give kids funny stories or sayings to type out and see who's the fastest, most accurate typist. You could give them a time limit of have like 2 sentences, give them a time limit of like 2 minutes and see who's the fastest. Keep points. Bonus for posting this to social media. If you have this, I think this would be lots of fun to put to music and see how fast the kids could do, like lightning fingers, you could call it. Robotics night is also fun. You can host a local robotics team. There's a lot around the community. We had Team Tungsten up here at Pearl Public Library for our robotics night. And it was fun. They brought out their robots and showed what they did in competition to code the robots. And so if you can't do this, schools also sometimes have a robotics team. You can check with that, or a STEM science team, or check with some of the awesome robotics and tech kits that we have at MLC for you to check out that I will let you know about. I love this idea. If you click on this, it's going to go to this website, but having a photo scavenger hunt, kids this age, 6 to 12, I mean, maybe not at 6, maybe more at 9, but I don't know what the age is now. They're going to have their own phones 9 times out of 10 probably. So you could do a photo scavenger hunt using tablets or smartphones. For kids who don't have a phone but want to participate, having tablets for the library to loan out for library use for kids, like having the ones that have the big chunky screen protector, of course, on it, but having those to hunt, you can use QR codes for that as well. I think this idea was really cool because it really was neat how they could either build their own scavenger hunt by posting photos and having other people look for it. Like, how cool would that be? Or you could provide the photos and they would have to find the items in the library and take pictures of those items. I think that's neat. That could be a good idea for families too. This also has some other ideas as well. Um, and definitely like doing videos are really fun now. I know like most kids at 9 to 12 years old are definitely going to know how to use TikTok or some form of simple video editing, but you could definitely teach an easy video editing technique and let their creativity shine. They can make their own videos. This is a really neat video for just the stop motion basics. So if you want to learn the basics, like Gumby was stop motion, Chicken Run was stop motion. There's a lot of those claymation movies that were stop motion. So this kind of shows how to make an easy stop motion video, and it could really be a fun programming idea for kids. And you can use your cell phone to record these. That's what I like about that. You don't have to have fancy camera equipment. So if you do want to have that, that's available too. And there's also directions for making a stop motion video if you click on this link. Rob, don't silence you. Robotics and tech kits, like I said, at MLC are available for checkout. We have the 3D printers and the 3D doodler. Those are really fun to just show like how you can use technology to make new things and how new things are made with technology every day. I do know the 3D printers, there is an application process and you do have to go through training in order to use the 3D printers. So make sure to keep that in mind. But the 3D doodler is a pen and you can check those out. That's lots of fun too. Little bits, coding kits like that, little bits and makey, like a circuit kit. You can make musical instruments out of like a banana. I mean, or a mouse, clickable mouse out of a banana. Little bits and makey are lots of fun with that age group. You also have robotics kits like Lego Mindstorms that involve like putting together the Lego creations, but also coding them to make them work. So that kind of puts both of those cognitive and technical skills together. I like that. Or you can go super simple and do the button maker. Button maker is definitely like a part of STEM programming, and it helps them design their own buttons, and it's really easy to use. It's like a press, and all of that materials for that come with it. Robot Reading Rally Kit has a whole bunch of different titles that are based around robots and lots of fun to just do if you're doing a robotics night. And we also have STEM Storytime kits. If you see something you like, check out Charlie Simpkins. He's our digital consultant. There's his phone number, contact information, and book and STEM kits. Here is the access to our catalog. You can click on that and access. Real quick, wanted to talk just about QR codes and scavenger hunts. I think that's an awesome passive program. Like strategically placed QR codes can lead people to information about the library if you want to put your hours on there or your website on there, or just a flyer to an awesome program you're about to have and you want to get that out. These are great to post around local businesses or community centers around town. People can scan them and get access to the library's catalog or website, whatever you would like. There's resources for patrons you could put on there. You could do scavenger hunt clues and more. This one I like to use. This is the create the free QR codes. There's none of that annoying sign up that you have to do and give your email and all of that to create a QR code. I think that's crazy. You could also scan this QR code right here. And you can actually put your label in the middle of these QR codes. I put this funny picture because it looked just like my cat in a tie and I thought it was precious. So you can put your logo in there for your library, or if you're doing like a theme for a program or a picture, you can put anything you like in there. This is kind of how to use it. You can do something that just has text. If you want to do a scavenger hunt clue, you could put like the next clue is behind the, I don't know, the bushes. Whatever. You can put whatever you would like in there for like a scavenger hunt clue, or if you were doing a certain program and you wanted them to find clues. It can link to an email, phone, a URL if you want to do your library's website. These are just so simple and easy. Instead of typing out a big flyer that has all of this information, just put your library's logo on a flyer, put this QR code on there, and it can literally lead to your Facebook. If you'd like to do a click up here up on Facebook, a location, if you want to show the location of the library, or this would be cool for like an around the world program or something, if you want them to get the latitude and the longitude of a certain country. I don't know, it's really up to you. YouTube videos. So you get the idea. Definitely adding your library's logo can really help them identify, oh, that QR code's for the library. So I think that's a neat thing. Here's some ideas for teen programs. I'm gonna move us down here. And teen patrons ages 13 to 19 must learn and hone tech skills as they continue to develop these cognitive skills. They've developed a lot of cognitive skills that they're going to have for the rest of their lives, except for a few because they're still growing, they're still developing, but they're trying to learn more tech skills. They're getting ready to, they're in school, fly the coop. Tech teachers, I love this program idea. Teens assist others with learning about devices and features like smartphones for seniors. This picture up here is from one program such as that, where two teens, they got the school's tech center to help seniors out with issues that they were having. They could bring in their smartphones or tablets, a laptop, or they could get the teens to help them access, create an email or type out a Word document or pay, go online. So, of course we can't help them pay bills and get information like that, but at least be able to use the internet in order to go online and pay their bills. I thought that was really awesome, and something that you could even set up like an hour a week for with your teen volunteers. Teen Tech Take Apart. That's a lot of alliteration. This is so cool. I've done this before. Donated, outdated tech items are taken apart. You can turn them into new creations. You turn it into a figurine, or you can add it to an old piece of tech and just create something really, really creepy or weird or ugly, and I love it. Or a piece of art, and it's beautiful. Or you can repair old items. They can try their hand at maybe like making some old items work again. I think that's just a neat idea. Offer tech help in classes, possible like partnerships with school, community colleges to teach these teens new technical skills that they're going to need. And maybe doing a survey, you can even have it accessed by a QR code. Doing a survey about what your teens want and need. Maybe they want to learn how to do Photoshop. Well, I, for one, know I don't know how to do Photoshop, so how could I get somebody who knows how to do Photoshop? Well, I could ask my staff and see if they have any skills or if they know of anybody who has any skills. I don't just want anybody coming in and teaching my Photoshop class, so definitely look for credentials. School, community college partnerships are great for that. If you have time, this link down here will lead to an article and video about a teen tech center at the Las Vegas Public Library and what they were able to do. And it's free to all teens. I thought that was a really That was a really wonderful part of that Teen Tech Center. And it also, the page has great resources and ideas. The video also does too. So, and I think some of them can definitely be applied to our smaller libraries. So it's a great video. I definitely recommend watching it. So you want to do a tech area, but you have a small space. Well, if you don't have the space for a computer area, a rolling cart with a few laptops or tablets is a great idea. It's portable, it's easy to move. Just don't forget a wireless power source. And if you don't know how to start a gaming area, putting out board games. Certain board games really do lead to STEM skills, such as Jenga. It can be as easy as that. Connect Four. I mean, bet you didn't know that. How about putting out a gaming console like Xbox, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch? Teens can sign in and out the controllers and games and return them once they're done. They can sign it out for 30 minutes. If nobody's waiting, they can sign it out for possibly longer. I think that's a great idea to get a gaming area. I know Brandon Public Library used to do the Wii and do it in time increments like that, have the kids sign it in and out. So I think that's a great idea. Here's some ideas for adults. Adults need it too. So I guess I definitely think job skills, learning new skills and refreshing tech skills are big with this age group. Adulting 101 courses for young adults, such as like learning how to balance a budget, planning for major purchases, learning job and household related technical skills, such as paying your bills online, how not to overdraft your bank account. I mean, and definitely if you don't know anything about this and you don't feel comfortable leading this program, definitely get help from an outside source. It could be a banker, it could be somebody you know in the finance industry who has the credentials to lead a course like this or just a program like this. So like I said, inviting a speaker, an expert, leading a crash course on something like Photoshop, InDesign, video editing, but getting the people who have those credentials is also about building community partnerships. QR codes, there they are again. They're so easy to make. Just go to that URL. QR codes can lead to surveys that allow patrons to provide input for future programming. So what do they need to learn? What do you want to see at your library in regards to the tech programs we provide? That could be great. Create space for adults too. Don't you forget about that adults need to work and have a conversation. So if you have a small space in your computer area, just provide access to wireless printers. A lot of you are already doing that. And wireless printing apps where they can print wirelessly from their phone. I think those are great to have as a resource for your library. Scanner, copier, somebody at the desk to assist with tech and some tasks. Another idea to set aside a computer hour. This requires like just the space that you already have. A computer hour where adults can get help on projects, they can get one-on-one assistance, job applications or resumes, other tasks. And if you don't have the staff power to do this, perhaps this could be led by a group of teens from the school, young adults, or any helpful volunteers. Just make sure if you're working with teen volunteers or teens from the school, just to have paperwork signed that, you know, liability and all that good stuff and parental permission. Let's stop with ideas for seniors for our programming. Really, these are good programs that provide one-on-one instruction with a tablet or a smartphone or a specific task, such as starting an email or just basic computer use. Those are the technical skills that they're learning, but some are definitely way beyond that, y'all. So programs can be performed by library staff, helpful volunteers, partnerships with your schools, having your teams help, or local community organizations. You could also set aside a special senior computer hour in the morning, maybe about an hour after you open or the first hour you open if you're feeling froggy in the morning for seniors to get special assistance with projects, issues, things that they need one-on-one help with. And note for young library staff, seniors did not grow up with this tech. please be patient with some of them, okay? Because definitely some seniors are excellent with technology, and never judge how much a person understands or needs or can learn based on their age. That's not cool. We're going to end with resources and tools. We're kind of getting to the end. This is a great resource for just an article about digital literacy and why does it matter, in case you need to advocate for digital literacy programs in your library to your staff or to your director. Digital Lead is a resource from PLA. It's got a lot of great playbooks. Like they have a PLA hotspot lending playbook if you're just getting into lending out hotspots and kind of need a few ideas or need to know how the lending process could work. Digital literacy instruction playbook if you're going to be offering programs like teaching a class or a course. Public access computer playbook if you're setting up more computers and you need kind of a refresher on public access computers, definitely that. This blog, Empowering Older People with Digital Literacy, definitely advocates the importance of digital literacy for seniors. And it's really good to get you thinking about different programs for seniors, like what do seniors need based on the things that they're looking to do with technology and what they, that things that can make life easy. It's supposed to make life easy for all of us, but sometimes it just does not. And PLA's Digital Learn, I love, love, love this resource. This is a wealth. I mean, when I say a wealth, it is a lot, from basic to more skills required to do these. It's a wealth of resources for patrons ranging from basic computer skills to more advanced topics. It's also a great resource for librarians and support staff to brush up on skills, or you can even have it as a link, like a resource for your patrons to use for just a reference if they need a refresher, if they need more help than the manpower at your library can, or woman power at your library can provide. So just another resource and tool here. This is the Veterans Computer Resource Guide from Digitunity. Now, this is really great in regards to specifically helping veterans advocate for themselves, finding adaptive technology if they need it, also assessing the computer with visual, movement, reading difficulties. As we know, many veterans do come home with injuries or disabilities that really affect them and the way they live for the rest of their lives. So this is really a great resource for helping library staff and for helping veterans themselves advocate for themselves. And self-organization, it provides some help for our veterans. Last final resource, Digitunity's Tech Gap Map. We talk about the tech gap, and that really relates to the digital gap that's between the haves and the have-nots of technology. There are people who have great access to technology and good schools, and there are people who do not, and that creates a humongous tech gap, not just in the country, but as you see, I love this map because you can go from the actual country to state by state. So you can see how different states rank. And this is all based on census data. So this is based on 2020 census data. You can look at educational attainment. This is here in Mississippi. It gives you can actually break it down by county too. This is just a screenshot. But this is the actual interactive map. You can break this down by county and see where your county ranks. And you can kind of see where the tech gap is so that we can help to fill it. So if you have time, I definitely encourage you to check this out and just kind of see where our state and especially your county or the counties that you serve, where they rank. And I want to end on this quote. In a society where increasingly we are defined by access to information, and what we earn is what we learn, if you don't have access to technology, you're going to be left in the digital dark ages. That's what the digital divide is all about. And really, libraries are what can help support and fill this digital divide. And definitely, like, what you learn is what you earn, and we're being told that. And we want to make sure that the playing field and that the is even, and that the library is providing an even playing field. So there's my soapbox moment, and I'm going to step off now. And thank you so much for tuning in and listening up to this webinar. I hope you learned a few things about digital literacy, or at least got a few programming ideas or things you can start using in your libraries. And if you're already doing digital literacy projects and programs, awesome. Thank you. Keep fighting the good fight, and just thank you. My name's Kristen Hillman, and here's my contact information should you need me. And that is all. Until next time, everyone. Bye-bye.